welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 7 ways to attract a soulmate connection. Please keep in mind that all of this information is channeled through meditation. It's not something that I looked up or anything like that, although I tend to meditate, gather the information, and then I check what the online community has to say about it. I just get a little insecure sometimes and I'm a little skeptical. I think it's good to have a healthy amount of skepticism, so I just check, and I find that it does seem to align with a lot of information out there. And so it may sound a little redundant, so if anything, this just might be a reminder for you. But yeah, I hope that it's really helpful. I really liked the information. It made a lot of sense to me, and I always find everything that the universe, my guides, things like that have to say, they're always so insightful. But anyway, if you like this content, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing, and we'll just go ahead and get started. So first things first, we need to discuss the concept of soul groups. So when we incarnate on the planet, what happens is we incarnate with a group of souls. They're usually a group of souls that we have had other incarnations with, and we've learned karmic lessons with them. If you have ever met someone who felt really familiar, or you just feel like you've known them for years, but you just met them, there's a good chance that that person is actually part of your soul group. Your family, people that you've had relationships with, people that have had a pretty powerful impact on your life are usually other souls that are within your soul group. These soul groups are determined by the energetic frequency that they resonate at. Let's say if we live a lifetime, we learn lessons along the way, our energetic frequency has the potential to raise, right? So if we learn the lessons and we're gaining wisdom and we're going through our spiritual evolution, our vibration will then go higher. Now, it can always go lower if we decide to take a darker path, or it can just stay neutral and just stay where it's at. So our soul groups are kind of determined by the frequency that we are at that time. It's kind of like being in a classroom, right? So you go through school and you are in a class, and then you move on to the next grade. You might have the same classmates in the next class. Sometimes there will be new classmates, and then sometimes people won't pass that class and they'll have to stay behind. That's kind of how soul groups work, or at least that's what I've seen anyway. Soulmates are souls that are also within the same group. And there's a common misconception that you can only have one soulmate, and it's like the ultimate relationship and nothing can go wrong. And that's really not the case. You can have multiple soulmates. It's like they're classmates, but soulmates. A soulmate in this video, I guess we're just gonna define as a soul within your soul group that you choose as a life partner. Now, and that's not to say that you can't be with a soulmate and it lasts for a really long time and then it eventually ends, right? That still counts as a soulmate connection. So during meditation, when I asked, okay, what is it that we want then? They basically kind of just said a life partner, right? So it doesn't, all of this, they're just labels, right? It's just semantics. It's just, we label these things so that we can kind of have a better understanding of what that is or what the dynamic is. The possibilities are endless. It can be a soulmate, it can be a twin flame, it can be anybody. It's really just going to be your choice at the end of the day. And just for clarification, whether it's a soulmate or a twin flame or anything else in between, we're all connected. Soul groups are just kind of broken down into different groups of people who are souls that have a similar frequency and are kind of moving around at a similar pace. But really, we're all just fractals of God. We're all cut from the same cloth. So I just wanted to make sure we knew that. So number 1 is to kiss all the frogs. And I remembered hearing this saying a lot, in my earlier years. You got to kiss all the frogs to find your prince. You have to go through the different relationships and learn what it is that you like and dislike, or the things that resonate with you and don't resonate with you. It's a good way of understanding you, basically, and what you want in a relationship. But kissing the frogs in this sense, they're actually referring to karmic relationships. All of the relationships that you've ever had in your past, right, that didn't work out, and sometimes they end up being not friendly whatsoever afterwards, those people are probably most likely in your soul group. And so souls, before they incarnate on the planet, they choose to go through certain experiences so that they can learn a karmic lesson. And they'll often choose another soul to learn that lesson with. So if, let's say, I needed to learn a lesson about forgiveness, I make a plan with another soul, okay? And this is all like through channeling. So if this is not your thing, I totally get it. Trust me, I know how like weird and crazy it sounds, but since my awakening in 2018, I've gotten used to just sounding crazy. But anyway, so let's say I needed to learn a lesson on forgiveness, right? So I team up with another soul and I say, hey, I need to learn about forgiveness. Do you want to, help me with that? So they'll be like, sure, I actually need to learn a lesson in like hurting others, right? Or something like that. And so we formulate a plan, and the plan is that they have to do something to me, like, I don't know, like hurt my dog or something like that. So they hurt my dog, and then I learn the lesson of forgiving them. And then they, in turn, learn the lesson of what it feels like to hurt somebody or whatever. They're way more complicated than that, but that's just me putting it in simple terms. When you go through relationships and they don't turn out the way that you expected, or it becomes really hurtful, you're actually learning a lesson. And if you find yourself attracting the same kind of relationships or the same kind of person, it's probably because you have yet to learn the lesson. So they're just going to keep coming back. And so that is what they mean by kiss all the frogs, because it's just your way of clearing out that karma so that you can be ready for the actual soulmate connection. This also stresses the importance of forgiveness and letting go of any past hurt that may have happened, right? Because again, those people are probably within your soul group and most likely organize that to happen on purpose. And so to hold a grudge against someone that actually, in the grand scheme of things, is helping you is a little counterintuitive. The best thing to do is to just ask, what is it am I supposed to be learning from this relationship? And it will help further you a little bit faster so that you can get closer to the connection that you really want. So number 2 on how to attract a soulmate connection is to have a clean slate. A lot of people tend to be scared of being alone. And so they'll just kind of settle into a relationship that's not really fulfilling, and on the back burner, they actually want to attract a different person. So they'll just be with this person so that they're not alone and they're not bored, but secretly they're actually waiting for a better connection to come along. You really should have a clean slate, because when a soulmate connection does come into your life, but you are currently in a relationship, that actually creates more bad karma. What it's telling the universe, or it's telling your current partner, is that you don't really value them and you're kind of taking advantage of them. If you take advantage of them in that way, and then another partner comes into your life and you then leave that person because you didn't want to really be with them anyway for this other person, you have created that karma now. And so at some point you're gonna have to experience the same thing happening to you. But also, it's just best to be completely and openly available. I don't know about you, but I would be devastated if I found the person that I just wanted to be with forever and they really didn't want to be in a relationship with me, and they were just waiting for the next opportunity to just be with somebody else. So definitely not trying to set up that karma, not at all. So the third way to attract a soulmate connection is to heal your traumas. This is such a repeat on my channel, is to heal your traumas. Healing your traumas will fix a lot of things, and apparently it's one of the ways to get closer to a soulmate connection. The reasoning behind that is when you have trauma stuck in your body or stuck in your subconscious mind, you operate at a certain frequency because of it, right? So the trauma itself will have an energetic frequency that will lower your vibrational frequency. So if you're going to be at a lower vibrating frequency because of your traumas, you will then tend to attract others that are at a similar frequency. And oftentimes these relationships will actually be karmically related to the trauma. So a lot of times these will happen to get us paying attention to our previous trauma that we haven't dealt with. Let's say I have some trauma involving infidelity, right? Like somebody cheated on me, and I now have that trauma and I didn't learn any lessons from it. So then I continue to, or no, even better. Let's say my parents struggled with infidelity, okay? And then that caused trauma within my life as a child. Then as I get older, because I never dealt with it, now I'm attracting relationships where they end up cheating on me. And now I've just formed this opinion that, all men are cheaters, right? And so rather than making a blanket statement about men being cheaters, really there's this lesson that I need to learn and a trauma that I need to heal. And when this happens, it kind of forces you to continue to kiss the frogs, and you're just kind of in this perpetual cycle of the same lesson being returned over and over and over again. So healing your traumas breaks free of that, and you get to move forward and actually find a connection that connects to your true authentic self rather than the self looking at life through the lens of trauma. And not to mention, once you heal those traumas, they break off of your energetic frequency or off of your aura, off of your soul, whatever. That trauma is no longer with you. So it's not like holding your energy down. So now your vibrational frequency actually elevates a little bit. And then you will have a better chance of linking up with somebody that has a similar frequency. So the fourth way to attract a soulmate connection is to do what you enjoy and do it often. This goes back to the energetic frequency idea. When you do something that you really enjoy, there's this authenticity that comes out and your soul expresses itself. So it's not really your human that is expressing, it's your soul. And your soul shows through laughter and smiling and just being high energy. There's just a different expression that comes out. And you can see it in other people when they're doing something that they really enjoy. It's almost as if they look kind of different, and it's honestly really attractive. There's a magnetic essence to them, and not to mention the energy of joy itself is pretty high up there. It's so easy to just get caught up in life and always having to do things that require like responsibility and adulting and things like that. And I'm sure you can notice even with yourself or with other people that if they're just all work and no play, there's like a stagnation that kind of comes over them, and they get a little bit irritable and almost seem kind of hopeless. Like that's just all life is, right? So it's super important to make space and time for just playing. Like just be a kid and go have fun, right? So for me, it's traveling. When I travel and I meet different people, different cultures, and eat different foods and things like that, like I actually really feel different. I feel free. And I have a feeling that when I'm in that energy, I probably look like I'm glowing. Because I know that for sure, if I'm at work all the time and I love what I do. I love helping people. But sometimes patients are not that nice. And so when I'm at work all the time and patients are being rude to me all day, I know I probably don't look like I'm glowing. And so it just increases your chances of attracting that soul to soul connection when you are vibrating at like a higher frequency. So the fifth way to attract a soulmate is to put yourself in public spaces. I thought this was kind of funny because it was a little redundant. Like, yeah, you should probably go meet people. Apparently, it's worth mentioning because our society today is very lonely. We're just in a space right now where technology, social media, online dating is starting to or it's not starting to take over. It kind of has taken over, right? This video is proof of that right now. Although it's giving us a way to connect with others online, it's taking away from us physically being in the presence of others. Online actually does count, but it has to be public, right? So it doesn't count to hide behind like an avatar. It doesn't count to hide just behind like a chat box, but really you should be showing your face and really expressing yourself so that people can really see who you really are and get a feel for you. And in turn, you get to see who they are. And you can tell a lot about a person and their energy just by looking at them and hearing them and watching them. I know we all wish that our soulmate would just come knocking on our door and be like, hey, I'm your soulmate. Are you ready to be together and be happy forever? Yeah, we all wish that it was like that, but it's not. And so if you really do want a soulmate connection, you really have to put yourself out there in a public way. Of course, this is going to be a good opportunity for you to practice discernment, which is another reason to be in public spaces. It's just good practice. It's good to get rejected. It really is. And it's good practice to just be social. Sometimes when we aren't social and we just kind of keep to ourselves and stay in the home, we lose our social skills. And it really is a skill. We are social creatures, and you are in this lifetime incarnated now on this planet with other humans. And so to just go out there and interact with them is going to increase your chances of finding your soulmate. The sixth way to attract your soulmate is to ask for it. I got a little annoyed with this one, but ask for it, because even though we may think about wanting to be with someone, we don't necessarily ask to be with someone. Because we have been given the gift of free will, right? We get to choose whether or not we're actually going to be in a relationship or go meet people. But if you put it out there and you make a statement that you are ready to meet your soulmate connection or to meet your life partner, you are manifesting it now, right? Your words are energy. The universe then starts to listen to your request. Like, I'm ready for my life partner. This lets the universe know that not only are you ready to move towards them, but you're also ready to receive them. Because sometimes if we still have undealt trauma or a existing relationship, that kind of indicates that maybe we're not ready. And the seventh way to attract a soulmate connection is after you ask for it, follow the signs without any attachment or expectation. Once you make that declaration, you then kind of have to listen to the universe. And they're gonna start dropping clues. It's gonna start leaving you breadcrumbs towards your goal. But you have to release the expectation and the attachment of the outcome, because if you have an expectation, then when the signs come in, you're not gonna be able to receive it or recognize it for what it is. So you have to just let it go and be really open-minded to the direction that life is taking you. And it's good to go with the flow of life rather than against it. You don't want to swim upstream when it comes to these things, because when you get rejected, right? If you get rejected on a date, if you get fired from a job, it's not that you're doing something wrong. It's that life is trying to take you in a different direction. The saying goes, rejection is God's protection. Of course, you want to sit down and meditate on what it is, on what's going on and why that keeps happening. But sometimes there is nothing to learn. You just need to go this way instead. And then sometimes life will lead you to a person, but the person will not be someone that you're used to interacting with, right? They won't be your type. That is where you have to release the expectations and attachment, because what we're talking about is a soul to soul connection. The soul is faceless, right? It's sexless. It doesn't have an ego. It doesn't have a skin color. The soul resides in a physical body. So you're gonna have to get past the human body. And if you're connecting with someone and you just feel so great and at home with someone, but they don't look like your type, well, I mean, that might be something worth letting go of. It might be worth letting go of that need to be with someone that looks a certain way, because this is going to be based on how you feel. That was just kind of a funny download, and it's nice to hear. It's nice to be reminded of those things, because I think we're just living in a really lonely society right now. I think a lot of us just need all the help that we can get. I really hope that this helps someone, and it's a good reminder for me too. I always appreciate the information that comes through. So if this information helped you or it resonated, then please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I will just see you guys next time. Bye.